going to say prayer? You want me to?
Bobby, will you have a prayer?
Yes, sir. Will you bow your heads with me? Dear Lord, as we come before you, we're thankful for this day and the many blessings. We ask you, dear Lord, that you be over this meeting that we're having today, that you lead and guide us, that we might serve the people in Pike County. We thank you for these young people that's in the audience, dear Lord, that that's what our future is all about, and we're really proud of them and their accomplishments, but dear God, bless them in their life and the things that they do. Again, dear Lord, we'll never fail to bow and give you the praise and honor and glory for everything that you do for us. We ask this all in the name of Jesus Christ and for his sake, and amen.
Amen. All right, the meeting come to order. Roll call, please.
Judge Daskins?
Yes.
Magistrate Anderson?
Here.
Magistrate Compton?
Here.
Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Here.
Magistrate Varney?
Here.
All right. We, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I need approval of minutes of April the 17th, 2018.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Daskins?
Yes. Okay, for approval, discussion, introduction of a special guest. Jim Bevins, would you in that?
Yes, Judge, we'd like to introduce Allison Powers to the court today. Allison has been involved with the cycling community. That's one of the groups that we've been working with and targeting for non-motorized trail efforts. She's got some real positive things going with the group that's road rides, which would be on the paved surfaces, and she's also real active in the off-road, which would be the mountain bike categories. She's an avid runner. She's a local hometown girl. I believe she is a drug rep for one of the major drug companies, so she travels and she kind of sees what some of the other states and some of the other counties around us are doing with trails. And we've asked her to come and tell us a little bit about her tour to Pikeville, which takes place this Sunday, and talk to you a little bit about cycling. So without any further ado, I'll introduce Allison.
Hello everyone. Thank you all for having me. Give me a few minutes. My name, like Jim said, is Allison Powers, and I'm very passionate and involved with fitness, bringing health and fitness to our area, and one of those things is running. We've done a lot of 5Ks in the community, and most recently cycling. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today. Last year, I did my first cycling ride. It's called a bike rally, and it was in Prestonsburg, and I loved it. And I said, gosh, you know what? We should do that in Pikeville. They've got it in Prestonsburg. They got it other places. Let's do it in Pikeville. So in 2 weeks, I set it up, advertising on Facebook, and in 2 weeks, we had 75 people, 75 cyclists show up. And I kind of thought it'd be me and my couple best friends with 75 people from the community come out. So I thought, you know, there's really a cycling community here. There's really people who would like to do this and get involved in this. So this year I have organized, it's actually this coming weekend, you all have brochure pamphlets there. This coming weekend, it's called the Tour de Ville, which is kind of a play off of Tour de France, if you're all familiar with that, in Paris, France. Our Tour de Ville is nothing like that. It's a little more casual. There'll be people there who are beginner runners. We have some kids riding it. And then there'll be some people there that are fast cyclists. So a little bit of everything. This year we're offering a 5-mile for beginners, a 10-mile for intermediate, and a 20-mile for expert cyclists. And we actually have 21 people signed up for that. So there really is a community in Pike County and Pikeville that is interested in cycling and interested in this other way of being healthy and getting, I call it healthy in the hills. Another thing that Jim mentioned also is that we also are I am starting with mountain biking as well. And he's been working with the trails and trail system the last little bit. We have such amazing beauty in mountains in this whole area. Trails everywhere you turn. We have different trails that people in our area can enjoy. I know they're working on the Lick Creek Trail system. That's one system that's working. And there's also one we did, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, right, Jim? It was the Ball Fork Mountain bike ride. And that was the first time I had done that, and it was absolutely beautiful. So we're hoping in the fall to organize a mountain bike ride for everybody to come out and enjoy that. And like Jim also said, I've kind of traveled around. I'm from here, born here, grew up on way Upper Cloy. And everywhere you look, there's people, they're in cities and communities doing bike rides and runs. And I think it would be great to be able to offer that to our people in our community in Pike County. That's it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, presentation by the Shelby Valley National Honor Society. Bobby Varney, will you lead?
Yes, yes, we got our Shelby Valley's Honor Society here. We're real proud of these young people. They've got a little skit they want to put on. It won't take very long, so I'll let you all introduce yourselves. I don't know any of you. The girls are pretty and the boys are ugly. That's the only thing I know.
Hey, you guys are handsome.
Yeah.
And the ladies are pretty.
If you would, go ahead and introduce everybody. Get Mike there.
Well, I'm Zachary Honaker.
Yeah.
I'm just going to everyone say their own name.
Green light on.
Am I finally correct? Oh, God. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. All right. I'm Zachary Honaker.
I'm Grace Tackett. Sydney Moore.
Lauren Compton.
Krista Hampton.
Toby Hall.
Cassidy Wright. Summer Rose.
Luke Newsom. Logan Billiter.
This skit we're going to be performing is about littering. What's my name? There's really not a specific recycling everything. So, the first thing is going to be about a group of friends who go where you love to fish. A group of friends who go fishing. And so, the second one is a group of friends who are ready to go fishing after a rough week in school.
I love nature. Fresh air is so relaxing.
No, I'm gonna go back here.
When the friends finally arrived, they noticed that the creek is filled with trash.
I think I know you see it.
Friends with the other fishing spot, they realized that it's also infested.
No, this is my go-to fishing spot.
Let's just go home.
And that just shows how our creeks look. Scene 2 is 5 friends who decided to enter a micro to pick up the trash.
I know, this place just looks so bad. I'm gonna be so happy when it's not so trash.
I love the trash is that there can be a place to live.
These people are just too lazy to find a trash can or don't care.
Well, according to my information, there are so many disadvantages. Instead of just making an environment look bad, it physically hurts the plants man. It is also illegal to find littering, also if you're acting.
How do you even know all that?
Well, I got my information from conservativeyoufuture.com.
I'm glad you said that because I've been in the past. I didn't have to. I just know not to do it, but now.
Yeah, you know, same here. It's nice to know we're stopping us from happening right now by making a trade. Basically, that'll be that. And that's it.
Y'all want to come back up and let me get a picture of everybody? Judge, you want to come out front with a picture?
Hey, guys, while they're getting ready to take their pictures there, let me remind you guys of a meeting. The West Virginia DEP is having a public meeting at Mingo Central tonight at 6:30 to talk about solid waste. One of the trails efforts we've been working with is our water trails, and it involves the Tuck Fork River. And one of the key areas that we've taken away from that project is we need to continue to work together for solid waste and our sewage issues. So if anybody, you're not doing anything this evening at 6:30, try to head over to Mingo Central and participate in that meeting. Thanks, guys. Great job.
Those tall ones have to get up front, Jimmy.
Sometimes.
Bring your daddy up to the holler. Bring your daddy, come up Blue Creek. That's a Blue Creek where I live.
Sure, we'll tell you that. And how many awards they've earned through the recycling.
Good, yes. 10 minutes.
I missed our last meeting.
We appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing.
Okay.
I wanted to bring Jimmy Dale up and Betty Brown from our Pride group. Betty's got a few things to tell you about a cleanup they had at was this at Fish Trap?
Oh, that's at Robinson Creek.
Robinson Creek, oh yes. And this group, along with, well, there was total 60 kids, right?
So around that.
Picked up a litter there along the highway and stuff, but I'll turn it over to Betty and Jimmy Dale.
We also met at the recycling center Friday the 11th, and we had awards there given out for our students that recycled a lot of phone books. You probably hear about that too. So we also clean up, we recycle, and we literally physically get out on the roadway and clean up, as you can see. We've earned a lot of awards through Eastern and Southern Kentucky. Last year we won the state award with Eastern Kentucky with our Shelby Valley National Honor Society group, and they gave that award out at Shelby Valley High School. We're just so proud of them, and we thank them every year. Every year the groups come in, they always come, and they always plan and do their jobs, and we enjoy it with them. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for having us too. Thank you.
I want to report, we had a cleanup at Fish Trap Lake Saturday, and we got 335 bags through the help of the GLM mates and the volunteers that worked up there. And we could do that many more and still not have it complete, but I just want to encourage people out there in the county and everywhere, just clean up. I mean, it's easy to do, just don't throw stuff everywhere, and it's just, our county is a beautiful county, and we got beautiful streams, and I don't know why people keep littering and throwing their junk over the hill, and frigidaires over the hill, and couches over the hill, and I just don't know the mindset of what's wrong with people. What a beautiful county we can have, and this county needs jobs more than anything else we could do for this county. Now, thank you.
And again, I want to reiterate what they said, thanking you kids, and I will say that you You gentlemen are handsome, but the ladies are beautiful. Thank you all.
May I say one more thing? This is our 10th year that we have been doing this with our students. And every year we have our groups divide up and do different activities. Some of them do the litter control, some of them do recycling, some of them do teaching in the other classrooms, actually, our environmental studies. So we thank them so much, and that's been going on for 10 years. Thank you.
One more thing. I want to thank all the volunteer groups we have in Pike County, and every group that does, like Horses Creek, Jimmy's Creek, Candara, and all the creeks that does a cleanup every year. Their creeks always look so much better than the other creeks. So get on board, other creeks. Thank you.
Thank you all, and I'm happy what you all are doing and accomplishing. Thank you all very much. All right, discuss status of K-9 unit SUV. Jackie?
Judge?
Frankie?
Frankie. About 6 or 7 months ago, there was Rodney Scott came to the court and asked for the K-9 unit to be transferred from the jail to the sheriff's office, and then the court agreed to supplement the salary of the Darlin Hampton, the K-9 handler. The jail also intended for the K-9 unit vehicle to go with them from the jail to the sheriff's office, and I just want the court to know that that vehicle is being transferred to the sheriff's office as well. The jail is okay with it, but to let the court know that that vehicle went with the dog and the handler. That's it.
All right. Frankie, you're next. Any bids?
No bids.
No bids. Matrix Roadwork. I need a motion to accept Matrix Roadwork.
Motion. I also got a road petition to turn in.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson,
Yes.
Magistrate Compton,
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy,
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson, Magistrate Dotson,
Yes.
Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes. Matrix comments. Jackie? Jeff?
I don't have any comments, Judge.
I don't have any comments.
Leo?
Not this time.
Hillman?
Judge, I just got a few, want to let the people know that we're out, got 2 mowers cutting weeds and trying to get caught up on them. They're growing and getting a lot of calls from them. And we're having problems right now getting pavement to pothole this. They're running a big binder type material, and we really need the plants to start running some pavement that we can pothole patch during the winter. We've got a lot of bad places that need to be repaired. And also, Jack, you know, the winter got us last year, and we wasn't able to finish our paving that we had on our list. And they promised as soon as the plant opened, they'd start back this spring. Have you any word on when they might start doing that?
Yes, I called her last week. I tried to call her the week before and couldn't get up with her, but I got up with Ruth last week with Mountain Enterprise, and she said she would be putting a crew together shortly, and I told her we need our area took care of first up, and Camp Creek was on the system, and I told her right now we had a little problem on Pounding Mill where those graves we need to take up, and we didn't want to do that and tear the road up, but we do the Camp Creek first, and we had some other areas there she hadn't done in a few other districts, and she said she'd be putting a crew together here shortly on that.
You might as well figure on doing Pounding Mill, because if you get started now on them graves, it's going to be probably all summer. We'll just have to work around it and then come back and get it when we get that approved. And I don't know if the county attorney can give us any updated advice on how soon we can do that. But I do know that that's a bad road through there, and it's well-traveled. So we probably will just have to schedule the paving and then stop and start.
That's what I was telling Ruth, we may have to just go and skip that area.
And come back.
Yeah, and that's a small area for her to come back on. We may have to do that ourselves, maybe, I don't know. But that's a small area, well, 40 feet or something like that. We have to cut out 60. But like you say, it's bad and it needs to be done. And the warmer the weather, the better. And the weather's getting out where we'll do a good job. In cold weather, it don't do as good a job. The hardtop won't, blend as well. So we may just have to go ahead and do that, or either leave that area out or dig it out. I hate to dig something out and we put money down on, but we might just have to bypass that area and go extend it somewhere else. Unless Keith's got something going on quicker on those graveyards. Do you got anything on that, Keith?
I'd like to do it without filing a lawsuit, and I've been trying to explore that opportunity. I think we can do it without a lawsuit, just having those relatives sign it a waiver, and I'm working on that. I think we just get them to sign a statement that they're okay with moving those graves, let the undertaker come once you get down to where the bodies are, what was the bodies or whatever's left of the bodies, and move those. So there's a way to do it without a lawsuit. Lawsuit would have taken 6 to 8 months. I think we can do it another way, so.
Seemed like Judge Coleman was very cooperative on that. He just needs some things to do because.
If you get a judge's signature, you have to file a lawsuit. You can't go get a district judge. It would take a circuit judge or a probate judge. For probate, you'd have to know the names of the bodies, every single one of them, and open up a probate case. Or you sue the descendants of each of the bodies and ask them to come forward if they have an objection. I think you just get them come forward with a waiver, an agreement. Everything doesn't require a district judge or circuit judge. We could get a waiver, so that's what I found. I'll get that done.
The problem with that is some of those people aren't known. And what Judge Coleman told me was that we need a paperwork done to take the known and the unknown graves up, because some of those bodies, people don't know who they are. They've been there for many years, from Blackberry or Freeburn area or the Peter Creek area, and they just don't know who the people are. But we got a grave site in Blackberry that will take those people, known or unknown, and they had a few markers there, but the way they widened the road up, the grader probably tucked and scattered the markers, so it'd be almost impossible to know who they are. So you got to get a broad rule, according to Coleman, to take those unknown people up.
Well, Jack, these graves have been there for over 100 years now. And this thing needs to happen and get done and put behind us, and maybe these people that's got families there can put it to rest.
Yeah, we need to put them to rest. I might just disgrace to drive over those graves every day, and just, it bothers a lot of people, especially the family people or people in that area just don't like driving over graves. I think it's doing, us fellow humans wrong, and give them a nice burial over there and where they won't be drove over top of every day. And that just shocked me that happened, but I found that out last year. But anyway, we need to try to do something about the road for sure, and put final rest to those people there in the Phelps Blackberry area or Peter Creek.
One more thing, Jack. The meeting y'all had with FEMA last week, Doug, was you able to determine anything that or are we getting some help or don't know yet, or?
Yeah, it's, we had the applicant briefing last week, and we're gonna have a meeting with the road foreman Friday, hopefully, and let them know what we need so we can get started.
Okay, what about our landfill? Was it discussed very much?
They'll have to look at it to give us a ruling on it.
They're gonna give us a ruling on it?
They'll have to look at it to see.
All right, thank you. And Judge, I got one other thing. Lyle Sloan come up right before the meeting, and thought he was going to be on the agenda today, and evidently there was some misunderstanding. And I told him in the magistrate's comments, I think I can recognize him, county attorney, and let him.
It's a regular meeting.
It's a regular meeting, yeah. Ain't no voting to it. I mean, just.
Yeah. You can talk.
We're ready for public comment, correct?
Yeah. Hey, Darrell, can you wait and let Bobby finish his master's comments, and then we'll be going into public comments.
I just got a couple of things. I want to thank this young group from Shelby Valley. And, you know, this pride organization that we have, it's really something to be proud of, because what they pick up and the litter and stuff they pick up, just like this past weekend at Fish Trap Lake, and Jimmy Dale talked about and stuff. But I'm really proud of these young people. Keep it up. When I was in grade school, we used to write essays and stuff, give a hoot, don't pollute, and all that stuff. And the grown-ups told us that if we was to change that generation, that there would be a time that they wouldn't litter. It didn't work, because you all know that. The next generation came up, they just littered more and more and more and more and more. But I'm thankful for people like you, young people like you, that's getting started early, that we're doing something about that. So I'm really proud of you all. Our senior citizens, I don't want to short them any. The group over at Belfry, I love each and every one of them, and they just they make my day most of the time when I come in, and have a lot of phone calls or whatever, but getting with them just make my day. Thank you, Judge. That's all I've got.
Thank you. All right, public comment. Come to the podium for public comment. State your name, address, and concerns. You have 10 minutes. Darrell Sloan.
Yes, my name is Darrell Sloan. I'm from Kemper. About the 10-minute deal, that's the reason I asked to be put on the agenda, because I need more in 10 minutes, because we have a safety hazard there. And I think with the safety hazard, we should have more time than 10 minutes to talk about the safety of maybe 17 to 40 people there at Kemper on a dilapidated house. I was here in 2014, and they come in there. I had a time getting them to come in there and clean up 87 ton. They cleaned it up, but they didn't tear down the old building, which they should have done. So I was back here in 2016, in May 2016, and I brought it up to the court again about cleaning this up. The first court said it didn't have the money. Well, I located some money for them. And then they said, well, we'll go ahead and do that. What the plans was for Bobby Mullins to furnish the dumpsters, and Hilton Dodson was going to bring equipment in and clean it up. Well, we went through that and for about 3 months. Then at the end of it, they said, no, we're not going to do it because we don't have the money. Well, I'm here right now. You have the money. There's no doubt that you have the money. And I want to know, is the county going to do what they said and come in, or is the county concerned about the human life here in Pike County, or are we more concerned with politics? Because I know I made some people angry, and some of these people are gone, you know. And I think safety is first. And also, I wanted to bring up, they done 50 of these jobs. I was shown a list. Mr. Mullins showed me a list. It's about this high. I would say there was quite a few, 75 to 100. And he finally, well, he's not here, but I almost, you know, but we finally agreed on 50. Well, they only collected on 2. The 48 they haven't collected on. So you're talking, he said it cost $10,000. You're talking about $480,000, 8% interest. And I went from 2014 to 2018, and you're talking over $600,000. What is happening is we're going on to private property, tearing people's places down and not charging them nothing. To me, that is misuse of county funds, and I'm pretty sure that is illegal. We cannot take county funds and go on, I've heard you say before, we can't go on private property and do private work. Well, if you have no intentions of collecting that money, and it's stated in there, in the nuisance ordinance, that you got 60 days, and if they don't come forth and pay it, you bring it before the court. And that's up to Mr. Hall. You know, to see that he wasn't here at this time, and John Doe was here. I'm not blaming you, Mr. Hall. But Mr. Hall, I get a little confused because I got hurt in the mind, and I got what they call PTSD, and at times I go off track, so just bear with me. And I want to know, and also it was stated here that they have started collecting some of them. But I want to know, are you going to come do that? Or are you going to try to collect this money? I mean, you're willing to put an occupation tax on the people, a burden on the people, but you're not willing, couldn't you use $600 and some $1,000? I mean, before you come up with this occupation tax, I used to be a mine manager. When we had to have a cut, we go to each department and said, is there anything you can cut, or is there anything we can collect to get this money? Well, nobody done that, you know. It's failure of the court to do that. And I brought it to your attention in 2016. So has the court made any preparations of collecting this money?
Now, what, 600 some thousand, what money are you talking about?
I'm talking about where they done the 50 jobs that we know about, just like the one they done at my place up there for the Williams boy. They never sent him a bill. And them boys had never paid no taxes from 2000 up to now, and they never paid a garbage bill. You know, that just shows you our county is not very efficient if they're letting people get by with this stuff.
Well, I think at the time we had a coal company involved in part of that property.
Well, the coal company paid their part.
And did they pay their part?
Yeah, they paid their part.
I wish Bobby was here so we could ask him about the money collected, but you know, I don't know exactly how much we have collected. You say 600 some thousand.
You haven't collected.
You say we have?
Haven't.
Haven't.
You haven't collected a dime.
But what happens, I think I'll let the county attorney help me. I think if you don't collect the money, you file a lien against the property. Is that right?
No.
That's why it's wrote up?
Explain.
My understanding is there is a lien on the property, and that's how we eventually collect about all of our money. Our property tax division over here, it's amazing how many times we'll go back over a 12, 14-year period and pick up a lot of tax money. I can bring the lady over that handles that. It's interesting because what we do for the county government is under contract. I mean, it is our duty as a county attorney. With property taxes, my contract is actually not with this county, it's actually with the state. That sounds kind of strange. We don't even have to do it, but we do it. We've got a contract with the state, and they give us back so much, and we run our office on that, and we use that money for other things as well. But I have a little more authority on property taxes because it has nothing to do with this county fiscal court. A lot of people don't know that. When I'm collecting real property taxes, it's amazing how, and of course, you know, it's political season, so everything I say good, somebody's going to come back and find one or two cases where you didn't do right, and just the sheer volume catches up with you and the nature of the property in this area. But it's amazing how many people pay their taxes, property taxes on property that's worth anything, because you've got these third-party purchasers out here now swooping in, and the horror stories are out there. So most people that have property that's worth anything are paying their taxes. A lot of times some of our property's gotten to where it's not worth anything because of one, like you said, had dilapidated property on it, was torn down. My family owned a piece of property over in Wheelwright, Kentucky, big enough to put a couple trailers on, and it was valued at around $500, and no one had paid taxes on it since 1931. I don't know if it was my great-granddad's fault or granddad, that my granddad was killed in 1931, so I don't think I inherited that. But I gave someone a deed to that property just so they would start paying taxes. That was in another county. So there's all kinds of property out there lingering, but generally speaking, yeah, we have a lien, and liens are good, and we need to revamp our that program was doing so well a few years ago, and people was so proud of it. The blighted property statute, and Roland Case really took a real interest in it. He left us to become a judge at the workers' comp level. I've had about 20 assistants over the years that are all doing great things other places. A couple like John Doug are sick, but most of them are doing great things in other places and moved on from my office. And each of them had their expertise, and one of Roland's was the blighted property. Those of you here on the court know he loved working on those cases, and I need to restart that. So you're right, I want to take a new look at that this week and after this next coming week, I'm going to have a lot more time on my hand. That's one of the things I want to do is get after the blighted property, not only doing more of those, because those are real good for our community. The city of Pikeville does a great job. If you've got a building, you don't use it for a week, they'll tear it down. But we need to do that in the county as well, and I'd like to get that program back going, and I'd like to start collecting on them. I'd like for you to come work with me on it if you would.
Well, I'm not talking about property.
But I would like for you to get with me and help me fix the whole program. I'd like to get it back going like it was.
I'm not talking about property tax. That's
totally.
I'm talking about the blighted, listen to me, blighted property is what you're talking about, going out and tearing down old buildings and going in and collecting on the people that we did that for. I'd like for you to come to my office this week and help me get that program started back, including your case that you're talking about.
Well,
Bobby's got one in Belfry that there's a lot of interest in. I'd like to get the whole program restarted.
Well, see, what they done when they said he wouldn't do mine, Mr. Mullins went and done one for his my understanding, he done it for one of his friends' brother. And I talked to Mr. Deskins. Mr. Deskins called me in his office and told me give him 2 months, he would have that done for me. So I left, and later on I found out he done a job on Lower Johns Creek. So I called Mr. Deskins. I told Mr. Deskins we was talking about it, and he said he's going to talk to Bobby. I said, well, if you want to talk to Mr. Mullins, you waste my time. He said, well, I'm the boss around here. They do what I say. So I called Mr. Deskins, Judge Deskins, about it. Well, I got his secretary, and he called me back, and I told him about it. He said, well, I'll check on it. Well, a couple hours, he called me back later. He said, yeah. He said, that was a aluminum building. I said, well, I don't care if they clean it. I said, well, I don't care if it's aluminum, if it's wood or block or whatever. It's a building. I mean, you skipped me to do that one. And I said, are you still going to do mine? He said, no. You know, so he didn't have no control over it either, getting it cleaned up.
Now, I think what you said a while ago was there's been no property taxes paid on this.
No. They haven't been no property.
So,
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
this
about
property
on this right here. This is a nuisance order. Unless I'm wrong, does this just only apply to this court and his friends and his neighbors and his political allies, or does it apply to everybody? I'm not getting no satisfaction. All I'm getting is excuses and things that's not true. I've been told that they would not do it because they're afraid of getting the flat. Their lives is not worth one plug. Because if you get a flat up there, which I was told that when he cleaned it up, you know, but they cleaned it up, I'd say, what was the plug cost you? $10? So he said their lives weren't worth $10. Now, come on, be reasonable. You people are here for the people.
What lives are you talking about? You know, you live across the road. What lives are you talking about? That building is fell down, and if you'll let me finish, you know, I give you the time to come up and talk, and we want to discuss this issue and try to come to some kind of solution. And you just a while ago said that the property was tied up in taxes, right?
It's tied up in property taxes.
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
The property tax is got control over the property, right? They usually sell your property, don't they, county attorney, after the tax has not been paid. So we got to find out if that property is still in the Williams' name, or is it in the people that bought it, or, you know, it's got to go through the same system that we were going through with this paper you're holding up. You know, you got to determine.
That's your paper. It's not mine. That's what you all voted for in 2007.
Well, that's what we.
Go back to 2007. So I went from 2004 to 2018. If you go back to 2007, you're probably talking over $1 million.
Well, you know,
at 8% interest.
We've got a county attorney and assistant judge here, both are attorneys, and we got to go through the system. When you go tear down a man's house, you got to make sure you're legal. You got to make sure it's right.
Well, you went through the program here. You went through that here twice.
Well, you just said now that the tax is on the property.
Oh, you said that. I didn't say that.
That's what you said. The taxes hadn't been paid.
You asked me.
The taxes hadn't been paid.
Right. You knew that, didn't you?
Huh?
Didn't you know it? I mentioned it the last time. Didn't you know it when I mentioned 2016? See, what I can't understand, my own master won't help me.
Do what?
You won't help me on this.
I'll help you do everything I can. We went in there and we cleaned up for about 2 weeks.
You did?
Cleaning chicken pens and debris and old cars and done everything we could do at that time.
Well, you didn't tear the building down. That was part of it.
Well, wasn't there some reason why the building wasn't tore down according to Bobby's
You'll have to ask Bobby. You'll have to ask Bobby.
He said a block building that was in use we couldn't tear down or something.
No, he said there was.
Well, I can remember.
Well, what he said was there was a wooden building attached to it.
Frankie, he's shaking his head, so he probably remembers the situation that we were in at the time.
If I remember right, I think Bobby said that, like, on one side of the building, the roof's kind of caved in, but on the other side, the roof is still good, and he was still using it for storage.
Had electric hooked to it?
Well, I don't remember that part, but I still remember he said something about the guy was still using it for storage on the second half where the roof wasn't caved in.
And I think in that ruling it was if you put a fence up in front of something, then that's supposed to protect it.
No.
That ordinance there?
No, you tried that once before.
I ain't tried nothing. I've tried to help you every way I can.
Well, I'm going to say it was tried here before. But what Mr. Mullins done, the fence was gone in 2014, and the court had agreed. You brought it up, and the court agreed to do that. Well, what Mr. Mullins done, he went in there and he said, he didn't want to make them boys mad. I said, well, you're making me mad because, well, I hate to talk about nobody's here, but, I don't know where he's at. But anyway, he had the fence put back up, and then he had a gate put up. And when he had the gate put up, he told me, he said, well, I can't go in there since you put a gate up. I said, man, you the guy hadn't put the gate in there, And then we found out Chris Harris brought it up here, and he said that does not stop nothing. You go, and that's a dilapidated house. They're not storing nothing in that building. Mr. Mullins said they had a wooden building attached to it. There was no wood. Paul, he's gone now. Paul Winston went up there and checked on John Doug, and then there was no building there. All I want to know, are you going to come up there and clean it up?
You've been up there 20 minutes.
I deserve an answer. Are you going to come up there and clean it up?
That's enough. Now, I put my hand on the Bible when I was elected and took the oath of office.
You sure did, I'd say.
And I go by the recommendations of what I do, and they're not some I don't like, but it's under the regulation. So take your seat.
That's all I can do. Thank you.
Willard Sloan.
I come back, check with Herbie and see if he made a decision on my place up there.
I sure have.
I don't think that the fiscal court has any liability there for what the pipes across the road. Jackie Darrell and I went up there and looked at it. From the time the pipe was put in there, it seems to me like it's the Lord that's sending the water down on the hills, coming off the hills, that's caused that damage you got. Plus, the damage you've got is minimal when you take into consideration that the damages statute in the state of Kentucky is what did the county cause you to have damages, and what was your property worth before it started, and what's it worth afterwards. And it's not the cost of repair. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the court's concerned, I think, if we were to fix every place that's got damage on yours, we'd be working on every creek and in every holler in the state in Kentucky. We can't put back what the Lord takes out.
Well, the Lord didn't take it out. It was county's placement of the pipe to take it out.
And I'm saying that I have a different opinion.
Okay, I mean...
I'm saying if you have a different opinion, then you go get a lawyer and you file a suit over here in the circuit court and let 12 people decide it.
All right, I know you're a lawyer and everything, but do you have any dealings with roads, constructions, creeks, placements, or anything like that?
I have.
Your dealings was in compensation, Social Security, and black lung, am I right?
And personal injury, just a whole bunch of things. You have to have pretty good knowledge of everything to be a lawyer. And that's generally what other people have. They should have a personal injury, a good knowledge of everything, like you were a coal miner.
Right.
You should have knowledge then that water coming off there is going to wash that dirt out on your side, and that's water that the Lord's sending there.
That's not the water coming off my hill, not doing it. It's from the creek.
The best thing you can do is to go get 12 people over here in the court. We got 2 good circuit judges, and let 12 people in Pike County figure out and they'll come back, and if they say we're doing it, that we did it, then I'm sure that the fiscal court will pay the bill and the judgment.
Okay, Leo, I talked to you the other night, and you told me this was a personal problem. Is it something personal against me that you won't fix it?
I don't have any personal problem.
And I'm talking to Leo right now.
What?
You said this was a personal now when I was talking to you. No, you said this is personally. You didn't say I couldn't take care of it. Well, I mean, that was some of the
I
statements
have I have no personal problem. I haven't discussed it with Leo, nor Jackie Darrell. There's nothing personal in what I saw and what I used common sense to determine what had caused that damage.
Well, you got Summit on retainer right now. Kyle made the recommendations the other day. Let them come and make a decision. I mean, that's their expertise, is doing surveying, see if there's damage or whatever.
Well, if that's what the court would want to do, let Summit come out there, but I can tell you what the damages are under the state of Kentucky. If that is the problem and they come back, the judge would instruct a jury. It's the difference between what your property was worth before and the difference in what it's worth afterwards, not the cost of repair and not an elaborate stone system. And anyway, you've got a person, your son is living in between you and that damage, isn't it?
Well, it's that property adjoins my property. I deeded my son that property. Did you find the right deed?
Yes, I did.
Did you search it, or did you have another county employee do it?
No, I did the work myself.
Okay, all right.
I trust the work that I do myself. And that your piece of property on that end, if you bought the whole thing, wouldn't be over $1,500.
Well, it might not be to you, but it is worth more than that to me. I wouldn't sell for $1,500.
Well, that's right. So that's what I'm going to tell you. You can have 12 people over here decide what it's worth, not what it's worth to you, because I wouldn't sell my daddy's farm for $1 million.
Right.
Somebody's liable to come along and buy it for what it's worth. That's what the law is. You've got to have, when you get into cases like this, it's whether or not it's the cost of repair or the cost of what the property was worth before and what it was worth afterwards, the lowest of those two.
Well, now, they worked on it before. Leo's worked on it. He's brought equipment over there. And if they wouldn't, how come they could do it before and put a few rocks on, but not do it as a permanent job? I mean, they said they ain't got the equipment to reach over to really fix it right.
All I was asked to do was to look at that and using my common sense and 50 years of practicing law, and I've had all types of things there, and see if there was any damages by that Pike Fiscal Court had caused. And I have that opinion, and I think the court will go along with that opinion, and my advice to you, if it's worth all that money to you, you ought to go hire you a lawyer, file a lawsuit, and then let 12 good Pike County citizens that probably won't have a law degree or anything, decide it, and let them decide it. And I'm sure this court will go along with what they say.
So, all right, now, let me give you another example. There was a slide come out in the creek right there in front of my house. And they come over and looked at it. They said, the only way we can clean that slide up is get on your property, make a ramp off in your bank down into the creek to clean it up. All right, so they went over my property. I gave them permission to do that. If I'm willing to work with the county court, and Leo parks his equipment there all the time when he's got to keep it overnight because they say it won't be damaged. Why can't you help me out when I help you out?
I'm not addressing that problem. I'm addressing the problem that this court asked me.
It's all a problem. We work together.
No, it's not. You claim that you were damaged in this one spot over there. We went over and looked at it and applied what I know are the facts to this. It's not whether or not you and Leo have had an agreement before that goes into this. It is not a personal thing.
Well, I disagree with the personal thing. So I'm asking the court right now if they would make a motion, let some engineer come over and look at it. Because you got them on retainer now.
I can't go against the court.
I think it's a good idea. Second opinion won't hurt as an expert, not as to the legal ramifications, but as to whether or not the fiscal court did anything to cause that.
I agree with you.
I don't have a vote on the court.
That's fine.
I'll make a motion that we get the second opinion.
I'd like to ask one question to the court. I got a good friend that lives on Smith Fork right now, but he owns property in Blackberry. And he's traded with me and a good guy. And he wanted me to go over and look at the situation. He said the county had damaged his property with the drain there. So I went over and looked at it, and it's probably 10 foot high, his property is. Jimmy Justice is his name. And it's probably fell off 10 feet, about 30. And I went over and looked at him and at the situation. He met me over there. And I said, Jimmy, I want to apply the same thing to you. You're a good friend and a customer, and I hope you don't get mad at me. But I said, I'm going to apply the same thing to you I've done throughout this county. When it rains and people call an act of God and the water comes out down the stream and washes out, sometimes it washes roadsides, sometimes it washes people's property out. And I've run across this a lot, but this and here burdened me because he's a real personal friend, but I told him I can't do for you what I don't say for other people. And I said, I can't get on your property to fix that, and you just have to find your contractor. And we dipped the creek out through there, but that's what I told him, and he understood. And he said, thank you, Jackie, for coming over and looking at it. But what he was talking about on getting on property, if something's a danger to the public, we can go on private property and work to make the situation right, like a drain's coming down and this water's washing on the road and causing the road to get slick and ice and stuff on it. We can do something to alleviate the problem for the road. But where you're just working strictly for personal property and benefiting the landowner is a wrong thing to do. When you're getting open a can of worms here, we spend a lot of time working on a lot of jobs out through the county, as Herbie said. And I think, some people place politics and this and that in the game that they keep quiet normally on. But this is a can of worms that will be opened up. And if we do that for him, I think Jimmy Justice deserves help too. But he don't deserve it legally. It's the act of God, and things happen. When water comes up and the stream gets up, it washes banks out. It's just a fact of life.
Well, I disagree with you, Jackie Darrell. I mean, the way that drain is angled is right at my property and stuff, and over time it has damaged it. And so...
Well, as Herbie said, a legal thing to do to that, if you feel that way, is go to the court, get you a lawyer, and let 12 people decide that. Because we ain't got this money to spend on everybody's bank that's washing off their property.
Well, if the county is the one that's at fault, they should be held responsible for it.
Frankie?
Willard, this court can't cure your problem.
Are they going to have Summit come and look at it? Leo made a motion.
Leo made that motion. Leo, I can agree with the motion, or I'll second the motion if someone will give me some kind of idea of what they're going to charge. If it's just their retainer.
I'll withdraw the motion now.
Well, can we find, do we have somebody from, Frankie may know. $1,400 a month, and that should cover it, shouldn't it?
Well, your time's up, Willard, I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, we can get...
All right, Sherry McCoy. You've got 10 minutes.
We'll call them next.
Well, we go over.
Thank you for 10 minutes. I'm glad everybody else got 30. My name is Sherry
Took an hour
McCoy.
last time.
I live at 82 Johnson Heights, that's Raccoon in Pike County, Kentucky, and I'm here again, third time. And my concern is the driveway, the road that I travel to my property. Now, I just have a hypothetical question, okay? I own the land. I don't own the road. County owns the road, okay? If I don't pay my land taxes and let's say a few years go by and you sell that property, you gonna sell them this road too? Because I don't own it.
Well, I can tell you this, not cutting into your property. I thoroughly researched that. That is a subdivision. It was subdivided by Mr. Justice. There's 20-some lots in there. the county owns the county has accepted 425 feet. And that doesn't involve any of your property. That's all the county has accepted. Generally, when a contractor goes, a developer goes in, he'll develop that property along with the county, and then he'll fix the road the way it's supposed to be, and then deed the road to the county, and the county then takes over the maintenance. That wasn't done in this case, and the only thing that the county has an obligation to do is 425 feet. I went over with Jackie Darrell, and we walked it out. We went to the head of the Olive. We looked at your driveway. Now, you moved your driveway.
Had to, it
and
failed.
The problem was is when you moved the driveway, you disturbed the bank there. And that's what is slipping off, that you're saying is slipping off down to the road.
Okay, the original driveway, you all paved. There was about 50 feet. It's in there. It's in that slip. It fell. We're driving out one day to leave to go to work. Every person on that mountain, every person on that hill works. All of us. There's nobody up there on welfare, food stamps, nothing else. I'm driving out to work one day.
But it doesn't have anything to do with welfare and food stamps, the shape the road's in.
And I'm saying I am a worker. I got to get to work. I'm driving out that road. It is fail. It's down. It's gone.
No, it's
okay.
not.
We come above that and cut straight down on that hill. We didn't weaken anything. You all weakened it when you come out there and you salted it. You salted it, you come up there and you turned, the county come up there and turned, you dropped out hundreds of pounds of salt, which I didn't know would happen to it. I had an engineer come up there last Monday. There is zero water. There's zero water. It's not due to, you all even come up there and put drains in. I bought 4.83 acres of land on Johnson Heights. I now own a pond. I wasn't in here telling you all that God sent me a pond, but it's got fish in it, and it's in my backyard. I'm not asking y'all to come up there, drain it, do anything. I got a pond now because you all come up there and you re-ditch that, you put in some drains, it's coming over my hill, all that rainwater comes in my backyard. I've got a pond about 50
We don't have any, can't you understand? The county doesn't own those roads over there.
We all signed it in.
That's in the subdivision. That is a subdivision.
And the owner of that subdivision signed it. Every person signed it.
Sure,
Roger
they
Varney,
did, but we didn't accept the whole subdivision.
I don't know how
We
much.
accepted 425 feet.
To pave.
No, that's all that we.
Okay, when you step that out, Mr. Deskins, when you step that out, does the pavement not go on up the hill?
Yeah, and whoever did that probably committed a felony.
And you come right out that driveway. My driveway used to be this straight right here. On my way today, I have pictures. I hold on to my phone when I come out that driveway. Today, when I was driving my car out that driveway, it tipped so bad that the drink was in my cup holder, came out. My car tilts like this on a driveway that's ready to fall over in Raccoon Creek. Not my fault. It's not a slip. God didn't cause that. No water on it.
Who constructed that driveway?
Pardon?
Who built that driveway that you're coming up on?
I have no idea. I bought the property. I have no idea who built the driveway.
The driveway that's there is not the original driveway.
That's right, because the other one failed.
I ask you a question, who built it?
The driveway that's there right now, me and my husband.
Okay, that's
because the other one fell. The other one fell two and a half years ago when we come asking, hey, the road is falling. The road's falling over the hill. What did you all do? You come out there and dropped some sand creek and gravel on top of pavement. It kept falling. We had to come back and cut down. You're now blaming me for trying to get to my house.
You bought a piece of property off a developer, and the county only took in the road 425 feet. That developer owns that road.
He signed it over.
We didn't accept it.
I don't know how much you accepted. You paved.
with
way more.
425 feet, that's in the road system. That's what the records show.
But you came on up that mountain and
Well,
you
they did that, and that's a mistake.
You put gravel in it?
But that doesn't
Graded it?
alleviate some guy making a mistake and he could have been making a favor for someone. The only obligation the county has is 425 feet. Now, if you believe you've got more than that, why don't you try our court system? We'll have 12 good jurors.
I'm going to.
Well,
That
that's
I
great.
did.
Well, that ends it
have,
then,
I did have
Judge.
an attorney to come.
Okay,
I
so
did
you've
have
got
an
an
attorney to
attorney.
come Friday and look at
Just-
it. He would not even go out that road. He would not even come out my road. He did not. He backed down that mountain. Would not even. Every day I come across that road, is it my last? And yeah, that is a road that we had to come straight above the one that fell.
Well, if you've got an attorney, it'd probably be best to go over here in circuit court and you put your evidence on, let the county attorney, or whoever the county does, put in what evidence we have, the plat maps and everything, let the judge instruct them what the law is, and then we'll have to live with it.
I'm sorry. Again, it's almost like a threat. Get you a lawyer. Let's let 12 good people decide.
Well, you said you
this.
already had one, so that's...
I had him to come out because I'm at a point right now, the road that I'm on, when it's gone, it's gone. It's gone. How am I getting to my house? That is not my road. You can't expect me to fix something.
It's not the county's road either.
The county
because the county
tore it
has
up.
425 feet.
The county tore it up. The county came out there. The engineer that came out from NATCO, he looked up, he went over the hill. He went through the ditches looking, is this wet? Is this due from a slip? And he also said there's a big belly, I forgot what that term was. He said there's a big belly up there right now getting ready to hit Raccoon Creek.
Well, that is the developer's fault. Can't you understand? You just can't go out and develop a piece of property and say, the county owns the roads in here. You've got to do certain things. The developer should have given all the county roads over, and the county has to accept them.
He did.
No, he didn't.
We all signed that.
No,
We all signed that. everybody on that hill
But that didn't give it to, the county doesn't have to accept 5 miles of run, not 5 miles. We don't have to accept that's because somebody wants to take over a road.
Okay, you've got different homes up there.
And each of them have a right-of-way into their home by virtue of the developer giving them a right-of-way. The county didn't give them a right-of-way.
Okay, so in other words, what you're saying is you've got these multiple homes on this mountain, multiple lots that are sold. No one will ever get to live on it because the road's so bad, we can't even let us.
But don't you understand that the county didn't own that subdivision? Mr. Justice owned that subdivision. He developed it, so he can't put the liability on the county to take care of the roads that's in his development.
Okay, as each of us bought that property.
From Mr. Justice, you didn't buy it from the county. You bought it from Mr. Justice. Mr. Justice should have, and he gave you a right-of-way over everybody else's property. The county had nothing to do with it.
I had easement to that property.
From Mr. Justice gave you that easement. The county didn't give you that easement. You got all your rights from from Justice, who was the developer of that subdivision.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's Dr. William Johnson. He owned
Johnson, I'm sorry. It was Dr. Johnson, and it's a subdivision. It's got a plat map downstairs showing where all the lots are.
Okay, so he sells off these lots. There's different lots that have been sold. They won't, as of right now, be lived on because we can't even let the UPS truck or the garbage truck come on the hill because the pavement that you've paved is also failing. Okay, so in other words, every one of us signed that over, all of us. We all signed our name on it, wanting the county to adopt it, including Dr. Johnson. So what was the reason of coming up that hill 425 feet?
Because they wanted an interest there, and the county accepted 425 feet. They didn't accept 2.5 miles back through there.
I don't think it's 2.5 miles. It's probably...
It is. When you go up the road, it goes completely over that hill on this plat map down there. well, maybe 2.5 is a little longer, but it goes all the way over that hill in the next holler.
That pavement didn't come to anyone's front door, no one's. It went straight up the hill. It came out my driveway about 50 feet, then it passed up my driveway about 75 or 100 feet, which I didn't get a roller, I didn't measure it, but I see the line every day I drive up the hill. So if you only took them 425 feet and there's 5 or 6 homes up in there and people up in there, why didn't you help us out any more than what
Kelly,
you did?
your time's up, honey. Now, if I was you, I'd go to circuit court and get it decision made. We can't make that decision.
Now, on the last meeting, you said you could. On the last meeting, you said you was going to leave it up to Harold Keith Hall to make a decision, that the county was coming out there and putting out salt, broke the road.
That was made before my term, so
No, that was just the last meeting. That was our last meeting, May the 2nd of this year, 2018. You know, that's not my road. It doesn't belong to me, but yet I'm a taxpayer entitled. I'm entitled.
And your time is up.
Thank you.
Take your seat. All right, Mike May. 10 minutes. We've got to get this thing over.
Well, Judge, I think we can comply with the 10 minutes. I don't, see, I just wanted to say, can you believe that politics, really, with what they say, can we believe politics plays a role in the decisions our county government makes? And as far as felonies, Herbie, you know, I think there was too much of that going on, a blacktop or what have you. I want to make that statement that those things should have been addressed. But now to get on with what I'd like to say, I see the kids have gone. Now when it comes to littering, Jimmy Dale there, I applaud you for your job. Well done. We shouldn't have to be, as you alluded to, we shouldn't have to be always doing this. The old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, what's wrong with people? Well, you know, I think it's just a few, most of us. In my early days, I was guilty of, hey, toss it in the creek, do this, do that. Nowadays, we do have garbage pickup, very good service, there's no excuse for it. What I'm trying to get at is I have talked to several police officers that say anytime they have ever wrote a citation for littering, it has been thrown out. So I think maybe if we would lean on that aspect of it, we might not have to get out there and do so much. I just wanted, there when I was seeing the kids put that on, but really the littering is inexcusable, and to me, I don't know anybody else come up with a better idea, but you've got to deter the people from doing it, and if there's no punishment, nothing to pay for, you ain't gonna get there. Now, I'm gonna move on. Well, I wanna go to the teleworks thing. I'd seen here where there's several expenditures going back out to that, and then I'd watched a meeting here that I believe this past Thursday, Hillman, Paul Williamson, which I thought had very good ideas on the expense of that over there, and I have heard even when the $150,000 went, and you know, jobs, yes, we need jobs, but I'll tell you folks, if you have to give away the farm to get somebody in here, what have you got? Now, with that being said, and I have heard since that, the beginning of that, well, we'll retain whatever, and that was said, I believe, in that meeting, maybe by John Doe. Retain, well, what are you going to retain? Something that's there, go right back to the golf course deal, the buildings down there, oh, we are useless, here they are, they're sitting there, nobody guarded them, and so on, but that's something to think about. Now, let's get to the county workers. And contrary to whatever, if I misunderstood or somebody, hey, the county workers I do not criticize. I criticize the supervision, and I will stand by that. Our county workers, the regular working men, they only do what their superiors tell them to do. Now, they was talking of raises. Do away with the occupational tax, and they get a 1% raise. And I would like to say this, that perhaps if you did nothing else, maybe you could eliminate the tax on the county workers, of them paying the occupational tax. And Judge, I think that does what I come here for today, and I thank you for the time.
All right. I think we need to go to executive session now, Judge.
Let me get here.
Frankie, Frankie.
All right, I believe we now go into his executive session. KRS, yes.
Frankie's going to do treasurer's business.
No, treasurer's business. Frankie's going to do treasurer's business.
Sounds good. I didn't see her treasurer, but go right ahead.
Judge, first I need to get an authorization for any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson, Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskin.
Yes.
Authorize the following 6 checks. They're pass-through coal severance money. Authorize a check in the amount of $2,300 to Kevin Young for payment for cabinets for the Teleworks building. Authorize a check in the amount of $55,012.75 to Elliott Contracting Incorporated for payment on the 3rd floor renovation project. Authorize a check in the amount of $1,549 to GL Security for security cameras for the Teleworks building. Authorize a check in the amount of $1,580 to Kevin Young for replacement of toilets at the Teleworks building. Authorize a check in the amount of $1,325 to CNR Office Supply for tables and shelving for storage closets for the Teleworks building. And authorize a check in the amount of $410.40 to Lowe's of Pikeville for ceiling tiles for the Teleworks building.
Judge, I've got a question. Paul, what was wrong with the replacement of the toilets at the Teleworks?
Most of them, I believe it was three or four of them was for the daycare center. They were small ones. Small toilets.
Is this a pass-through, Jenny, or is this something that we could have done ourselves, or?
It's all pass-through. So this is all grant money that
Okay.
they're trying to get closed out.
A motion to go ahead and pay the bills.
At last one, the $410 for the ceiling tile, where's that ceiling tile at?
The ceiling tile is, now that's something we're gonna replace. That's just what we had left. We'll be able to do half the building for Teleworks.
At Teleworks?
Yeah, it's Teleworks, conference room.
Okay. I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskin.
Yes.
And finally, Judge, I need authorization to pay the election workers, polling places, and election commissioners for the May 2018 election once the invoices are received from the clerk's office next week.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskin.
Yes.
That's it, Judge.
All right. Okay, we need a motion to go into KRS. Bobby?
Yes, sir, Judge. This time I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session in accordance of KRS 61.810, paragraph C, discuss proposed or pending litigation, and paragraph F, discuss specific personnel matters.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Magistrate Dawson.
Yes, Jimmy Dale's making some kind of motions back there or something. What are you? Oh, okay.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
What'd he say?
Need to talk with Keith.
The court meeting will resume. All right, commissioners and directors' comments. Jackie Darrell?
I haven't got much, but I want to thank Herbie for explaining that very well in the situations. And anyway, I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks. I'm going to Europe, and if I don't make it back, it's been great working with everybody.
You're going to Italy? I think
Pam?
Mafia knocked you off on your.
Pam, you have anything?
Justin?
Justin?
I do have some personnel items. You want me to go ahead and do that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Gentlemen, the following items are up for approval. It's approval to move John Thompson from temporary road foreman at Road Lot 3 to heavy equipment operator at a 4H rate of pay effective 5/1/18. Approval to move Gary France from light equipment operator at a 4H rate of pay to temporary road foreman at Road Lot 3 at a 4A rate of pay effective 5/1/18. Approval to hire Bradley Brennan as a mini-pack driver at Solid Waste Area 3 at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to hire Anthony Conrad as a loader at Solid Waste Area 5 at a 2H rate of pay.
All right, I approve and I make a vote. Second. Yeah.
Did you get a second?
Yes.
Roll call, yeah.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. All right, county attorney's report. I don't believe he's here. Pike County Judge Executive's comments. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. The court will be adjourned.
Until next Wednesday at 12.